Hey guys, it's the Rooster here, and I've got some Battlefield 3 gameplay for you guys. Now this is a game of rush mode defending on Caspian border. Now the reason I picked this game as my second commentary is, for one, it just happened, and I want to post the attacking side of this map also. I wanted to give you guys kind of a view from both sides. Now, what we're doing here pretty much is, my friend Yuno gets this tank, I hop in, cut out the beginning there so it would be a little bit shorter. Now, we end up pushing up a little closer to their spawn, not all the way up to their spawn, just, you know, we're not right here in these canisters. We get, you know, about where that sign is down the street there. And we just basically hold them off. We do everything we can to keep their tanks from crossing. Any infantry that tries to walk up, I'm trying to gun down. You know, we're just constantly trying to keep them pushed back so that we don't have to deal with a bunch of guys hiding in all of our canisters, hiding in all of our buildings, stuff like that, making it really difficult for us to protect those MGOMs. This is a really good example of what a couple of guys using teamwork and using their roles effectively can do. I mean, granted, you still need to be, you know, proficient in, you know, like the tanks to be able to get a gameplay like this. I mean, if it's your first time hopping in a tank, it's probably not going to happen. But basically, Yuno is driving, I'm in the gunner seat, and we have one of our friends, Dirty, that's there in our party. He's in the MAV. He's playing recon, he's up in the MAV, and he is doing a fantastic job in that MAV. He's calling out stuff, he's spotting everything, but he's not just spotting stuff and leaving it for us to kind of look around and look for orange dots. He's actively calling it out. He's saying, hey, you know, one of those guys bailed on that tank. He's running up, he's going up the stairs on this building. We got a plane taking off in the back. Hey, after you're done with that tank, worry about there's a tank in the back left. It's going to be an issue here in a few seconds. Like, he's constantly just actively calling out all this stuff. It's really letting us prioritize where we want to go, you know, what we want to attack. We know kind of when to back up. We know when things are getting kind of dangerous because he's the eyes in the sky for us, and he's just letting us know. Now, also, too, I'm trying to remind Yuno to focus on the tanks because obviously my gunner, like the gun that I have to shoot, doesn't damage tanks. So you'll see me looking at tanks a lot, but what I'm doing there is I'm not necessarily trying to shoot the tank. I'm waiting for someone to hop out. I'm waiting for someone to panic, for someone to jump out of the tank and then try and take down their, you know, their engineer before he can heal the tank. So, like, right now, like I said, it's just all about teamwork right here. We did a great job. I thought it was an excellent use of how 3 people in one tank can really, like, hold off you know, an attack from a rush game. I don't play a lot of rush. I mean, I've played a few games of squad rush, which really don't like. I think the tickets are too short on squad rush. The game just goes by really quickly, or really takes forever. It's one of the two. It either goes by too fast or too long, because one thing I've seen with squad rush too is if the other team, you know, if they're attacking and they don't want to come attack, you can't go into their spawn area and they just sit back in their spawn. We had that happen where one team quit out. There was one guy left on the other team and he would not come out of his spawn. So he just sat there, hid in the back, and we couldn't do anything about it. The game didn't end. It just kept going on. Eventually, you know, we suicided, pulled up, you know, it's like sniper classes, and were able to pick him off. And then it did eventually, I mean, after a long time, load more people into the game, and they were rushing at the MCOMs. So I found that as a big problem on Squad Rush. I don't know if you'd get it too much on regular Rush, just because there's a lot more people in the game, and you're probably not going to find a whole other team that's willing to sit back in the spawn the entire time. But I hope that's something they can address, maybe put a little time limit where if they don't leave their spawn area for a minute, 2 minutes or something, then, you know, it gives them a countdown to where they have to get out of that spawn, or it's going to end the game. But that's just some things that aren't probably going to be too common of a problem, but it really made me not want to play Squad Rush. Like, so right here, you know, Dirty's calling out all these guys. I'm also, too, I'm constantly looking around, and I'm mashing down on that select button, trying to highlight anybody that Dirty hasn't highlighted for us. Now, Dirty goes 0-0 in this game, but he was kind of happy with this game and the next game because He gets quite a, well, he gets about 1,200 points, which isn't, the kind of points that we're getting. We're the ones actually getting the kill points. But he was having a fun time. It's not something, we normally do, this kind of play style. In the next game, he was getting a ton of points because on the attacking side, I got a lot of kills. So he was quite happy with all the points he was getting from me annihilating everyone. Now, also, we have another guy in our party, Showtime. He's another really good player. He's kind of hanging back a little bit more towards the backside, cleaning up a lot of the stuff that gets by us, people that are parachuting, out of planes, stuff like that. So he's back there. We know we have someone really good gunner that's back there defending the actual incoms. Most of the rest of our team is back there. We're just trying to be this frontline defense, and we do a really good job of holding everybody back. Now, obviously, what Dirty's doing, while it's extremely helpful, you're not going to always find someone that's willing to do this role. I mean, he only did it for a few games, and then he was like, all right, while this was fun and all, I want to get back to killing people. But when you can, really get a chance like this, if you got, everyone using the mics, like I said, me, and Dirty are constantly on the mics here, then it works out really good, and it's really what Battlefield squads are all about. So it's really nice when you get to really use that to its full potential. Now, obviously, the other team is not full of amazing players over here. I mean, I'm a really high level. We got some 30s on here too. The other team, not really full of super high level players, some average level players, but even then, so I mean, granted, we're destroying them, that's part of it, but they have opportunities to take us out. I mean, there's multiple times where there's 2 tanks rolling up on us at the same time. They have plenty of aircraft that could be shooting down at our tanks. They could whip out RPGs. There's a lot of things that they could do to really get rid of us, and they don't really take advantage of it as much as they should. So while I feel kind of bad to a point of really just destroying the other team, I mean, when you see the scoreboard at the end, it's pretty bad. It's pretty lopsided. I mean, we go combined, from me, Showtime, and I think it's like 45-1. Like and I don't die, but Showtime goes like 13-1, and Dirty goes 0-0. So it's like for our whole squad here, we go 45-1. That's pretty dominant. But on the other side, you look at their scores, and they're not getting to push up, they're not getting to arm any MCOMs. Because we're, taking out most of the front lines. They're not really squeaking past us to kill, infantry one-on-one very much. So they really don't score. I think their top guy ends up getting like 190 points. So obviously, I'm not trying to say this is the greatest gameplay ever. I just wanted to really show you what good teamwork, good communication, even just like I said, one tank and a Mav can really do if you have a good tank guy, a good gunner guy, and you're just constantly calling stuff out. The mics obviously are a little screwed up on this game. They're kind of hit or miss. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. I really hope they fix that because I don't always play with teammates. I mean, right here I have 3 of my friends on, which I was kind of happy because this is after Modern Warfare 3 released. And right when it released, my friends list went from all Battlefield to all Call of Duty. I mean, when I logged on to play that day, I was the only guy on Battlefield, and every other person was on Call of Duty. Now, later on in the night, a couple of those guys ended up switching off of Modern Warfare, playing on Battlefield, but I was kind of worried for a second. I'm like, hey, some of us kind of agreed we weren't going to get Modern Warfare 3 for a while because we want to, play Battlefield. That normally happens in the past, like when, Bad Company 2, Bad Company, they released their game so close to the release date of Call of Duty that it's not that I don't like Battlefield, but I love Battlefield, I love Call of Duty, but I'm most likely going to play, something where my friends are playing. When Bad Company, when those games came out, we all loved that game, but then when Call of Duty came out, they all moved over to Call of Duty, and, I didn't really play much more on Battlefield. I went to where my friends were playing. Here, I kind of said, you know what, I it's not that I wouldn't enjoy Modern Warfare. I've played tons of hours of COD in the past, and I've played, like I said, a lot of Battlefield. But I didn't want to buy Modern Warfare 3 this time. I didn't want to only play Battlefield for 2-3 weeks. I just said, you know what? I've played enough Call of Duty. This game looks similar enough to the previous ones. I'm not trying to bash on Modern Warfare for anyone that's watching this, but it just really wasn't screaming out to me as something that needed to be purchased right now. Call of Duty is a game where its whole lifespan, you know, like till they pump out that next Call of Duty, is going to have a ton of people on that game. So you don't have to worry about, you know, the game dropping off and not having anybody to play with. Now, Battlefield, on the other hand, tends to drop off a little more. I'm not saying that there aren't players on Battlefield, but at least with my friends list, you know, the amount of people that you'll see playing a Battlefield game will decrease as time goes on. So we kind of just decided that, hey, there's quite a few of us that really like this game. We're not really, you know, having the itch or the need to go play Call of Duty. Let's just stick on Battlefield for at least a month or two, see what happens. And if we decide we want to go back to Call of Duty, that's fine. I know there's, you know, if they ever get private matches here loaded up into this game, which is kind of an issue right now because we want to do the competitive side of this, but they don't have any private rooms. But there's a tournament that was announced, you know, a giant, I think it's what, $1.6 million tournament by Virgin Gaming. Now my clan, I wasn't in the clan at this time, but just saying in the history of our clan, like there was the Best of the Battlefield tournament on PlayStation 2 and on Xbox, where EA hosted a tournament where first place was $250,000, second place was $50,000. Now, my clan was the top PlayStation 2 team at the time. They got flown out to California to play against the top Xbox team. Now, unfortunately, they made them play the top Xbox team on an Xbox, which is just a bad idea. So some of our guys at the time, you know, didn't even have Xboxes. They had to run out, grab an Xbox, try and get used to the controls, and then you got to go play the best Xbox team on an Xbox. And it was still a pretty close game, you know, but they ended up losing. So it's like our clan got $50,000 instead of, you know, $250,000, which is, you know, quite a big difference. But still, you can't really get mad at getting a free $50,000 and a trip to California. So, you know, that's kind of like the history of my clan. We've actually been in a lot of other tournaments and, you know, done some MLG stuff, had some success in a lot of areas. But that was, you know, the biggest amount of money that they've won at one time. And so when they announced this other tournament, you know, some of our guys were like, hey, we've kind of been going idle for a while. We're kind of ready to get back into the competitive scene. Let's hop into this tournament. And, you know, we're not necessarily maybe going to take first. Who knows? I mean, I think we have, you know, the potential to be a top contender on this team with some of the guys that we picked up along the way. We have a really, really good team on Battlefield. But, you know, we just want to get back in there, you know, see what happens. I don't know. They haven't really released the details on how many places, you know, get paid out on this tournament, that kind of stuff. It's still, you know, many months away, but we're actively pursuing this game. We're all having a blast, and I plan on sticking on this game for a while. So any of you guys that you know, are enjoying my Battlefield vids, I'm going to keep putting them out. I know I'm kind of losing out in the commentary world by not putting out Call of Duty videos, but you know, it was just a choice I had to make. I'm not done enjoying Battlefield. I want to stick around here a while. So any of you guys that want to see lots and lots of Battlefield content, granted I don't pump them out as much as some of these top commentators, but I mean, a lot of those guys, that's their job. I mean, they wake up in the morning and they get to play games and they get to post commentaries online. I don't have that kind of time. I mean, I took some days off when Battlefield came out, had some vacation days, but you know, I don't really, I mean, I have a full-time job, even though, like I said, I've had some time off lately. I just don't have the time that some of these guys do to post you know, constant gaming videos. I'm going to do my best to keep putting them out there, though. Kind of like this, I steal this guy's tank. Now, I think, too, this is where, yeah, I go to heal this, and, yeah, tank explodes. Luckily doesn't kill me, but it's right at the end of the game. That tank goes out, Yuno's tank gets blown up, which he was kind of bummed. It's like, oh, I really like that tank. I didn't want to see it go. But, you know, it's like the game was winding down here. I mean, I think right here I run off into the field and shoot an RPG, and that's about it. Now the next game is from the attacking side. I'll try and fast forward that up a little bit where there's some, you know, parts where we got to run from objective to objective. And try and, you know, I didn't fast forward anything here, but I kind of just wanted to let it go out. That's one thing too, guys. It's kind of discouraging for me to want to come in and do a commentary, because ideally I like to do 5-minute commentaries. Battlefield is not really set up for that. You know, you have 10 to 15-minute matches if it's a good quick match on like Conquest or here on Rush. But, you know, I mean, there's definitely matches that can go 25, 30 minutes, and I am not going to do a commentary on those. While they may be great games, I'm just not going to sit there for 20, you know, I mean, right here I'm rambling. I've been rambling for a little while, but, you know, it's a 16-minute long game. I mean, I'm doing my best to kind of keep the commentary moving along and keep it interesting. But like I said, stay tuned, guys. Have another good one coming up. You guys will like it, and it's a lot of gun kills. So thanks, guys. Peace.